Adam, we're on.
And it's live. All right, we're here Saturday afternoon. Well, at least here in Arizona and California, I think you're in, Rex.
I am in San Jose, California.
All right, so we're on the same time zone. This is good stuff.
Right.
Welcome into Silver Lining Podcast. I'm Adam. That is Rex. Welcome to our live. This is a chance for you guys to ask questions. We could discuss whatever you want to discuss. Um, well, we were going to mention a birthday, but I don't think it is a birthday. I think that's a month from now. So we're going to hold off on that birthday celebration for
Happy
somebody.
month before birthday, Kimberly.
Yes, 1 month ago. And I see there's a lot of people online already with checking in with each other, talking to each other. That's the one thing that Rex and I talk about this community is that, people are making friends and people are checking in from all over the world, saying hi and I'm here and all these things. So this
Hi
is all
from Jessica.
yeah, this is all good. Yeah. From the Netherlands, that's Ria. She's checking in. It's my birthday. That's Darlene Butler's birthday today. Well, we need to celebrate Darlene's birthday. Rex is about to sing happy birthday to you. 3, 2, 1.
And a half. Oh, look, I'm on mute. Dang.
I'm on mute. My mic broke. Darlene, happy birthday. You're a month earlier from Kimberly's birthday, so that's all good. Maybe we just do a birthday shout out live today. So everybody around the world, if it's your birthday, let us know. We'll give you a shout out.
And happy Father's Day. Several people, Victoria and Nina, Canadian. Several people are saying happy Father's Day, and the same to any other fathers out there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow for Father's Day, Zach and I are going to dinner and going to a movie. And he gave me 3 choices of movies. And I'm like, well, which one do you want to see? So we're going back and forth. We don't know what movie it is, but we're going to see a movie. And so that's exciting for me for Father's Day. I love that.
Very good. I love you being there close to Zach for Father's Day. That's just a rare treat for you, isn't it?
It is. It's a rare treat. I love it because when we don't live next to each other, it's on the phone and it's way better in person than on the phone or video. Yeah,
Here.
Love it. Anne from Scotland. We love that Anne always checks in, and lots of other people on there. So whatever questions you have for us, let's let in on that. What else were we going to talk about today, Rex? I forget.
Well, I have questions of our optimists, those that are in the know legally, because Adam and I heard recently from a source that there are 2 trials coming up, one for Charles murder and conspiracy to commit murder, and then one for an attempted murder on Brandon. 2 separate trials. Can anyone confirm that? I don't know how that works. And if there's a separate trial for Brandon, who is the defendant or who are the defendants? I don't have any official word on that. Would like to know, Adam. I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I haven't heard much. I haven't heard anything from the prosecution either. For Lori's case,
and as to whether or not you'll be called.
Yeah, so I have no idea, and other people are talking that it was supposed to start in early August, and other people saying that thing's not going to start till maybe September or towards the end of the year. But who knows? This is all speculation. I just would assume that the prosecution is getting their case together, that they would, talk to whoever they're going to talk to and the witnesses and all that. But no word yet. Here we are, middle of June. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, if anybody knows what's happening with Charles and Brandon's cases or trials coming up, let us know.
Would also like to know with that, as long as we're just speculating or putting out there what we'd like to know. We've also heard that any evidence used in the Chad and Lori case can't be used here in Arizona. I don't know if that's accurate. I'd like to hear someone that's in the know on that weigh in on it.
And if we have any lawyers, attorneys, judges that watch this show, You can also weigh in on that too and let us know.
Well, if they know, yeah.
I don't know.
At least they know how things typically work in their jurisdiction. That's more than you and I know, so we'll take that.
Barbara says, I think that the trial for Brandon will come right after the trial from Charles. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. So, but nobody knows for sure, or there's nothing in writing or anything. So if anybody does know for sure, Lori's next hearing is July 1st. Judge has said she has to appear in person this time. So apparently coming up in a few weeks, Lori has to appear before a judge and has to be in the court. That's from one of our optimists. Darlene Butler, happy birthday again.
All right.
We like that.
Ava was just going to ask the same question we asked. We beat her to it. So I guess Ava doesn't know either.
Oh, yeah. She asked that same question. Yeah.
Kathy McGowan says, Adam, good to see the hats back.
Yes. I'm adding to my hat collection. I got a new hat. Where is it? Oh, see here? Colorado hat. It's just a cool looking hat. Oh, I'm over here. I'll get you a hat, Rex.
I've got 4 hats with me in California.
Do you? You like wearing hats?
No, but I'm training outside, so.
Oh, so you put a hat on out there? Yeah.
Okay, bad news for juror number 14.
What happened?
Lee says, did anyone else notice that juror number 14 and Rex could be twins?
Really? You look a lot like all kinds of people.
Well, the last person that looked like a twin to me, it didn't work out so well for him. Turned out to be a serial killer, and where things went for there.
Yeah.
Have you guys connected with Colby yet? He's been on his podcast lately, and more power to him.
Yeah, we wish the best for Colby. I want him to be able to do whatever he needs to do or wants to do.
And Colby knows if he wants to come on and.
Yeah, Colby has an invitation to our podcast, an open invitation anytime he wants to come on.
Yeah, if he wants support from our optimists, he's very welcome here anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, Elroy is ready to speculate wildly. Elroy, what's your first wild speculation here? Sorry, Adam, I'm eating. I just got in from work, and
I was gonna say I knew it. I was like, we should have went an hour later. I was like, he's just gonna walk in the door right at 3:30. He has no time to eat. He's been going nonstop at work, and then right into the podcast.
Walked in at 3:29, so I had plenty of room, plenty of time to relax before getting on.
So this is usually my life, and you're. So I was relaxed today. I had plenty of time. Like we're reversing roles. I know, like just months ago, I was like, I can't do this. I have a lesson to give. So this is.
See, it happened when you started traveling. Everything in the universe shifted.
Yeah, we're back to different roles on this show.
Okay, Adam, this one's for you from Lena's Trail. Adam, your dad is quiet in all this. We never hear from him.
Yeah, my dad is. Yeah, he's an enigma. He doesn't want to be in the public eye. He doesn't like talking to people. He doesn't trust people. He's always been like that. So you won't hear from him. So that's just how he is. That's all I can explain.
Speaking of your family, I'm your immediate family, of course, my family too, but
yeah,
your immediate family. A couple of the comments, people outside of the optimist community, optimists are just so good to us. We appreciate that. People outside the community, there's still people bashing your family for whatever reason they choose to. I don't know that why or what good it does to bash your family, but
yeah,
I
think it really makes people feel better about their family. I really do. I feel like people who are really negative or people who look to criticize others, they have things that are going on with them or their family. So they want to criticize somebody else to make their situation feel better, look better. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I feel like sounds right to me. But I may be completely wrong. But yeah, that's my feeling on it. And yes, our family's had a lot of, things happen, and a lot of people want to push blame, and there's a lot with what Lori and Alex did. There's a lot there. The problem is that when you start trying to dig up stuff, or you trying to think about what was our family, because I heard somebody in our family, which is irritating, say that Summer and I did not have a good childhood, and we need to come out of the clouds and realize how dysfunctional our family was, and we did not have a good childhood growing up. And me and Summer, like, we're telling you that if we didn't have a good childhood, we would be the first ones to say this was terrible. But Summer and I both loved our childhoods, and a family member who has spent probably 5 hours in her whole life around our family is saying stuff like, you and Summer did not have a good childhood. You can't see it. You were dysfunction. Now that part's a little bit irritating.
Now, so let's just put it on the table, Adam. That's from Megan, your cousin,
Yes.
my niece. We love Megan. Okay, Megan is entitled to her experience, entitled to her perspective, but Megan never lived near the Coxes. She did, I guess, in San Antonio for a while, but she wasn't over there except for occasionally a family reunion, usually dropping her kids off. So she's entitled to her perspective, but it's not a close family perspective.
Right.
I was there for Adam and Summer growing up, at least some of those years before he went off. And yeah, I can see why they say we had a great childhood. They did.
It was fun. Yes, it was a great childhood. We had a good time. So that's those are only when you're talking about criticizing our family. When we get criticism from people in our family that's really outside the family, or just complete strangers. And I feel like maybe it's, they're feeling better about bashing our family because they just weren't great about their family, or whatever it is. Or you just have negative Nancy's. There's just people who are just negative in life. And I've run into plenty of them. And I'm sure everybody watching knows somebody, a friend, acquaintance, a coworker. Every time you're around that person, something negative comes out of their mouth. And that's just how they're built. And so I just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. And let me tell you, from a detached perspective, in the sense that I'm a sibling, didn't live in either house either time. Me and Adam grew up on different ends of the spectrum as far as, I don't know what you'd call it, structure, permissiveness. So they're going to have different perspectives. And we don't care as much perspective. I'm still wondering why people are talking about your family, Adam. Even family members. Why?
I don't know.
Have we not analyzed Lori enough? Is Lori not where she belongs? Why?
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Your childhood, and having people tell you how your childhood was.
Yeah, it all needs to come to an end with that. So, anyways, but apparently people are very want to keep on bringing things up. So, and everybody's allowed to say and do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I just don't know why people would still be doing it or be interested in it.
Yeah. So, following up on that, Rex, are you related to Adam's mom or dad? To his mom. His mom is my older sister.
And I did see somebody say something about, Rex, what was it like to grow up with Janice? So I wasn't around for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your own family with your two sisters and your brother in your own family. So people want to know, what was that like growing up with her?
Yeah, and Janice being 9 years older than I was, we were in two different worlds. She as a teenager, I didn't know that life was going on, still as a young kid. And she married when I was 9. So,
so that's different.
Yeah. And they, lived out of the house. Janice and I have always been close. I'd say the closest of the siblings, and that comes and goes during the year with other siblings. But Janice and I were always close until the big rift in the family where, I didn't believe the same way she and Summer believed about Lori. That's caused a strain, and probably that strain is just the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
So, we live with that. But I still love Janice, my older sister, and my growing up, I'm a little bit like Adam. I would say I love growing up. I just had a wonderful childhood, and people say, "Well, both your parents died." Okay, yeah, well, both your parents are going to die too.
Right. Yeah.
It happened to, my dad died when I was 9, my mom when I was 18, but I love my life. And
yeah. I guess it has to do with perspective. Other people look in as they're looking in. It's like, well, you can't be you couldn't have a happy childhood. Or same with you and me. And both of us, here we are just smiling face to face, go, oh, I laughed. I had a good time with all my friends. I was just doing what I needed to do.
Yeah, we missed the part of our lives that were supposed to be bad. We just missed that. Sorry.
I guess so.
Sorry. I'm glad you could see him, even though you didn't know us from wherever you live.
Exactly.
What are some of the fun stories, good memories with Janice? I guess we got on that topic, so we have it here. I'll throw out one, Adam. We can tell stories all day. Janice is very competitive, especially cards, just like Adam. We had the family basketball championship. Adam and I, we've talked about that. Janice and I had the family pounce championship for decades. Very competitive.
Tell everybody what pounce is.
Pounce is a very intense, fast-moving card game. If you don't know that game, it's similar to the game Nerds. Some people have heard about that. And
okay. And you guys will be up at midnight going to town, and I'd hear yelling and screaming. I'd wake up and come in like, what's going on? Oh, she tried to cheat, or he tried to cheat.
Yeah. All the yelling and screaming, of course, was Janice.
You were quiet as a church mouse.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't yelling and screaming. I didn't need to. I was just playing pounce and winning.
I love it.
Okay. How much hedgehog in space? How much did Janice pay you to tell people she's your favorite sibling? How much ice cream will it take for someone else to supplant her? First of all, I said we were the closest.
Right.
Okay. Might be different from favorite. I've never known what the criteria was for favorite sibling, favorite child, favorite grandchild. I just don't know the criteria. So I'll say whatever there is in the moment, I think, on that one. So way to stir the pot, hit their hedgehog. We appreciate you for all sorts.
She always has great comments and questions. We love her.
She or he, we don't know. Do you know it's a she?
Oh, hedgehog? No, let us know if you're a man or if it doesn't matter. But if you're a man, we want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Just want to make sure we get this right.
So back to speculating wildly, we asked Elroy to start the speculations, which Elroy did. Melanie will be brought up on charges. There you go. There's a wild speculation. You didn't say.
Oh, you're saying if Brandon's separate trial, so Melanie will be the defendant? That's what he thinks?
That's a wild speculation.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting speculation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us could see where that might come from or go, because Alex isn't going to be a defendant. He's dead.
Right.
Is there evidence for Lori being a defendant in that? We'd love to see it.
Oh, yeah. What if it's Lori?
Yeah, could be, or maybe both. I don't know. I don't know how that will be.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Our friend Anastasia, who has a real name, I've talked to her and we've emailed back and forth. Today I read on your Silver Linings Facebook group that Judge Boyce denied any requests for CD trial exhibits, Chad Daybell exhibits, due to appeals and open Arizona case. Court papers are posted. Okay, that's good to know. Any requests for Chad's trial exhibits are not going to be available. Good insight. Thank you for that. And
yeah, because we were. I thought the same. Somebody had mentioned that, and I didn't know what would be admissible and what won't in the trials here in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Here's a question from Kaz Mungovan. Good morning from Australia. Good morning. Question: can you explain the rumor that Alex was a little brain damaged? Did he have accident that caused it?
Some people believe that. Alex was 16 years old, got in a car wreck with my friend Steve. And they rolled the car. It flipped several times. Alex had a huge hematoma on his forehead for a while. Did that cause brain damage? Some people think that it did. I don't know the answer to that. But the way that Alex lived the rest of his life past 16 seems to be not the normal. It would comparing what normal is. And then obviously falling with Lori and Chad and falling for this nonsense, obviously you have to have issues, in my opinion, to be able to do what he did.
Okay. And can you say specifically what you it's not experienced, but what you noticed, Adam? So you're thinking, yeah, could be brain damage and stunning his emotional growth, basically, I think is what you're saying. What did you notice as
well, that's just, he was, he didn't really try to go get married and have a kid and have a career, which is, well, I think normal male behavior, if quote unquote normal. And then, he's always quoting movies and cartoons. And so maybe a little immature with that. So maybe those things could have happened because, at age 16, that's when this happened. So it didn't seem like he progressed a lot after that, but who knows? Maybe he's just a different cat. Maybe he had mental problems. I mean, I didn't see a lot of that stuff because I just took it as, oh, this is Al. That's Al. And Al just made us laugh all the time. So maybe he laughed. We just stopped thinking about what was wrong with Al and just wanted to be around him because he made us laugh.
Okay. Here's a question about, we said would talk wild speculations. We're hoping to hear y'all's. Barbara Brown says, what do you guys want to speculate wildly about? Anything specific? How about speculating about, was anyone else involved in the attempt on Brandon's life? Was anyone else driving the Jeep when Alex took the shot? The scenario is Alex took the shot. Was he driving? Was it someone else driving? Who might that have been? That'd be wild speculation because we don't know. Remember, wild speculations, we're doing just that. There's not an answer. We aren't looking for a definitive answer. If there is one, please someone bring it out. But we're just speculating because that could be. I'm going to continue speculating or continue wondering because I didn't get satisfied with the answers in Chad's trial. Were the children's deaths ritualistic or satanic ritual killings? That's going to call for wild speculation at this point because I don't know that anyone has evidence of that. So that's always going to be a question for me. I don't know that I'll ever get an answer on that, but all we can do is wildly speculate. So that's a couple things there. Adam, anything else about wild speculations?
No, those are the two things that really we were thinking about. And again, people want to know, did Alex or did Lori actually shoot Charles? I believe it was Alex. And with Brandon's attempt, there's video of Alex going back to that warehouse, taking the car seat out, putting it back in. He was with Lori. Alex, a truck driver, so he could stay up all night driving all the way from there back to Arizona. There's a lot of things, and I don't know if we're going to ever. The problem with this whole case, with all these different layers of what happened to all these separate people and things, is if we're ever going to get any of the evidence. Are we going to have video? Are we going to have actual text or a voice from a call or something where people are talking? I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Okay, Catherine McDowell says, I know Adam has moved a bit in his life. Not sure about Rex. What has been your favorite place to live? Okay, I have had 57 addresses in my life. I counted them up recently for some reason. I've lived in 25 cities, but 57 different addresses. I'm 67 years old, so I'm not averaging quite a different location every year. And the longest I lived in one place, I moved 2 years ago from my sister's basement where I had lived the previous 11 years. That's the longest I lived at one place in my life. So, favorite place to live anywhere with Lisa, which has been my sister's basement and my current house.
So St. George. So the location is in St. George.
But the location is with Lisa. Doesn't matter what the city is.
Yeah. I got to tell you, my radio career, I've traveled all over the place. You know, people, when I got the job in New York, people were like, oh, that must have been amazing. Well, I worked at Z100 in New York, but the actual radio station was in Secaucus, New Jersey. I don't know if you've ever been to Secaucus, New Jersey, but it's not the greatest place in the world. So I moved to a place called Belleville, New Jersey, which is, you'll see it when you watch the opening of The Sopranos. It's an all Italian neighborhood. So everything there was just, it just didn't, I don't know. I didn't grow up there. I grew up in California. So it was a little odd. I love living in Austin, Texas and Dallas, Texas. Texas is one of my favorite places to live. Also, I enjoyed Little Rock, Arkansas a bunch. So those are some of my, really good places to live, but that where I've moved to.
All right. And other places I've really loved. I love living in the Pacific Northwest, Washington. I've lived there a few times. I've lived in Texas a few times. I love Texas because I'm a Texan, and I was mentored by one of my favorite people in the world, my Uncle Ned. I've got to tell this story since we're talking Uncle Ned. It's Father's Day. He is my father's brother. Since my father died at age 9, Uncle Ned, he didn't try to father me. We lived in different places, but he certainly was a good resource for stories about my dad, especially World War II stories about my dad, who spent time as a prisoner of war in Stalag 1 and was a flying ace in World War II, flew P-38. So I learned a lot about that from my Uncle Ned. But here, I've told this story before, but I have to tell it again because I love to pay tribute to Uncle Ned. He is mentoring me on how to be the consummate Texas gentleman, which Uncle Ned was. He was a gentleman to everyone in life around him, even the Democrats, he would say. Okay.
Hold on, do not get political. Please do not get political.
That's not me, that's Uncle Ned. So
right, no, don't bring up Trump or Biden. Okay, here we go.
He said, Rex, whatever you do, do not ask people where they're from. I said, well, why, Uncle Ned? What's wrong with that? He said, because it's rude. He said, if they're Texan, they'll tell you. And if they aren't, you just embarrass them. So that was my Uncle Ned. And that's why Texas has been, I've lived there probably 4 different times, been one of my favorite places.
So both of us have lived in Sacramento. I really loved living in Sacramento. Did you like Sacramento too?
You bet.
Okay. Yeah. Sacramento's it's a great city.
I lived there 2 different times. Love it. So yeah, we've lived different places.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on from that. Thanks for asking that. We like to throw out personal things, not very often because we don't like the show being about us, but we don't mind now. Kathy McDowell asked this. Of course, I got a pang of guilt, so I went straight to our inbox. Kathy said, have you been checking your inbox for supplemental book suggestions? Kathy, I just checked it. And yes, there are several there, Adam, that you and I need to read. Okay, so let's take some time this weekend. Easy for me to say because
I'll show you. These are the 2 books that I have right now. These are the books. I have this book, which is Steve Young's new book that I got, and then I was handed this book to read called The In-Between, which kind of scares me because if this is about people's life-death experiences, I don't know if I want to even go down that alley.
Yeah, you've got the wrong genes to get wrapped up in that.
We're the wrong family to read books about afterlife deaths.
I think Kathy's referring, Adam, to our supplemental book, the supplements we're making to Lori's.
Oh, so when we ask people to tell us what they want us to write and to add to the book that we've already written.
Yes, and we asked them to send that to the Rex and Adam at Gmail.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why she's asking. So I just went in there, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Adam, we've got some reading to do.
Okay.
Got to do some catching up there. Thank you for calling us on that, Kathy. An important part of performance, Adam, is being accountable.
Yes.
So we may need to sign up for an accountable program with Kathy.
Just so we can get this thing done.
Exactly. Good call, Kathy. Okay. I don't know what this means, but it's to you, Adam. So I'll ask you. Hedgehog, again, trying to make us think. We're starting to object to that. Did Alex just have younger sibling syndrome, though? Alex is only the younger sibling to Stacy. Adam is born just after Alex in the birth order. But Adam, do you have any insights into that syndrome or anything about sibling?
No.
Okay.
I don't know anything about, and did a radio show where there was a psychiatrist that went through the order of where you are in the family. If you're the oldest, if you're the middle, if you're the youngest, and what those things in what happens with that. But Alex wasn't. He was like in the he wasn't any of those, and neither was Lori. Oh my gosh, they're the in-betweens. Stacy's the oldest. I'm the middle. Summer's the baby. Lori and Alex are the in-betweens. Yep. If you're an in-between, be very, very careful.
All the serial killers in our family are in-between children.
Yeah, we've learned that.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark humor.
Little dark humor there.
Sorry, people.
Back to a wild speculation from Rhea Brummel. Or Brummel. Chad will divorce Lori. Hey, there's something to speculate about. Now, Rhea, that is valid a speculation as any, but
why hasn't he already done it though?
Yeah, what would be the advantage of Chad divorcing Lori? Does he have a special bub in mind? Well, no, he can't interact with the inmates, so
maybe he's getting married to a guy in jail.
Well, they'd have to.
He was proposed to in jail by another man.
Could be, but they'd have to do it yelling at each other because he doesn't have conversation with them.
Right.
Unless it's on the outside. This is a good question, and we don't have a lot of questions about the investigation to Charles's death, and so we automatically think the worst because we have a kind of a low opinion of how that was handled. But Amy Quinn asked, did they fingerprint the gun that shot Charles? I don't know anything about what they did with the gun that shot Charles. Do you, Adam?
No, but I heard they didn't have any gun residue on Lori's hands.
Did they test her hand for?
That's what I was told in the report.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Knowing again how badly the Chandler Police Department screwed up that investigation, and it was a bad job screw up. It surprised me that they did some things right. So, yeah.
Here's a question we don't have an answer to, but might fuel some other wild speculations. What do you think of Chad's recent mugshot? We can answer that. Do you know if he ever had a mental health assessment? Surely he should have had one.
I don't know if he did or didn't. I'm sure that he did. If he agreed to one, or do you have to agree to one, or do you just automatically have to take one? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Okay, me neither, but that can fuel some wild speculations possibly.
But yeah, Chad's, it surprised me. Chad's mugshot, I've never seen him smile. So that was the first, it was kind of a smile, wasn't it?
Kind of maybe a smirky.
Oh, something weird. It was a different look than I've seen before from him. So
Yeah. So we don't know him well enough to even say that as a smile or not. We don't know him at all. We know nothing.
Yeah.
Hedgehog, back to Hedgehog. Can you compare radio hosting and speaking at seminars to podcasting on YouTube? How of an effect does your platform have? And you got my pronouns correct with the she. So Hedgehog is a she.
Awesome.
So we won't get canceled for the wrong pronouns. That's good.
I like that.
Adam, can you compare radio hosting and speaking?
Yeah, radio hosting is more of trying to find out what's going on in the world and communicating to a group, kind of like we're communicating to you guys. And it's, you want it to sound like it's, off the cuff, but it's really, there's a lot of, work that goes into making it sound easy, or entertaining to listen to. But it took me years not to be really, really nervous about it. And then after I got over the nervousness, then it became a lot easier. Speaking in public, I've done a few, public speakings, and of course, obviously at church, you're asked to speak a lot in our church. So I get experience speaking. How is it different than doing a podcast? I think with a podcast is like Rex and I are together. We go back and forth. We both have ideas. Sometimes Rex will say something and I'll be like, oh, that makes sense, or add to what he has to say, or make me think about something else. And there's no real pressure with podcasting. With radio, you have ratings and all those things that go along with that kind of thing. What happened to Rex's video? Did Rex just go away?
No, Rex just put some eye drops in, and I didn't think anyone needed to see that while you're talking.
Okay.
Didn't want to distract.
Sorry. But yeah, I think that's the main difference. I think podcasting, being on here with Rex is great because, we can go back and forth. It's a little bit different than radio. And obviously Rex does a lot of speaking too. How is it different than doing public speaking for you?
This is so comfortable. Public speaking is not uncomfortable for me, but it's just comfortable being with Adam. We can bounce. We know each other well enough and can bounce things off each other. We can disagree. It doesn't even faze us. We can even talk about what we disagree about, and it doesn't faze us. Have we ever had anything where we got upset because we disagreed, Adam, in your entire life?
No.
I can't remember anything that you and I would get upset over.
Mm-hmm.
We've probably disagreed before, but it's just this is just very comfortable for us. And because of our optimists, we aren't trying to defend ourselves with every word. We don't worry as much about making a mistake or what we say and how we say it and how people are going to react to that. We're conscious of that because it's a public forum. We're mostly conscious of that when we're talking about our family members. Okay. So when I brought up Megan a little while ago, I know that's going to stir some people. Maybe Megan, maybe not. Megan and I have talked about, how we're different and how we think differently on things. So, but I wanted to say what we were saying, but people will react to that. And it's funny how people tell us the relationship we should have with each other in the family.
Yeah.
Like they tell me the relationship I should have with Megan. I love Megan, love my relationship with her. I don't mind if we disagree. We just limit what we talk about in public on which we're going to disagree, because it's not the type of disagreement that you want to hash out in public. Megan and I are willing to talk to each other about disagreements. We don't need to do that in public.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one for you, Adam, because I know you talked with Summer. Has Summer had any interesting stories from CrimeCon?
Summer said, I talked to Summer. She said she had a good time there. It was great doing an interview with Nate. She was a little bit scared at the beginning because she didn't know what was it going to be like and all that. But she said she met a couple of people that were there, and she thought it was odd that people wanted to take a picture with her and have her sign something. She was like, this is uncomfortable for me. Um, but she did it gracefully and was accepting to everybody. And, you know, Summer is great doing it. She had some really good answers, and, you know, she's, you know, I think she had a good time doing it. And so not really interesting story. She said she met John Benet Ramsey's dad. And I remember that story a long time ago. And this has been going on for how long? 20 or 30 years or whatever it was. And think about it. He was never accused, or he was never found guilty of killing John Benet Ramsey, his daughter. But a lot of people still think that he did it, and he's still trying to find the killer and find all this stuff out. So she was talking to him about, I guess, scrutiny on a family and how do you live with all this all the time. So I think that might have been good for her to talk to him about that a little bit. But other than that, that's really all I know.
Very good. Anastasia asks, are you boys still in the LDS faith? If so, did this experience change anything at all in your faith, even if it brought it closer? We are. Adam, did it change anything for you?
No, nothing's changed for me at all, either one way or another. I'm not closer and I'm not farther away. I've been pretty steady with that the whole time.
And I recognize that everyone does religion differently, and maybe Adam and I do it differently. A lot of times we don't understand, we know people have different experiences, so their questions are earnest, but we don't understand why would this change anything in how I choose to do religion. And I don't think there are very many people at all, maybe even in the family, maybe 4 or 5 people that really know how I use religion in my life, what part it is in my life. And it wouldn't change anything. This is not anything in the family. And I know Lori and Chad were in the same religion I am, and they did weird things with it. That doesn't mean anything to me the way religion is practiced in my life. So to me, they're 2 different subjects. So I can't quite answer those questions well because I don't know where they're coming from. The people are earnest in asking them, but I don't know how to even relate to.
Yeah, changing that up.
Yeah. So not that I don't want to answer. I'm afraid to talk about religion. Just the opposite. I can talk about it all day, but I don't think I view it the way other people do or think I do. For example, I just started listening to the Quran. You ever done that?
No.
I felt bad because I've read the Bhagavad Gita a couple times from the Hindu faith. I've read the Dhammapada a couple times from the Buddhist faith. I said, I don't know anything about Islam. So I like to go to source documents and hear the source documents, not somebody telling me about them. So that's
But I do know this. I do know there are people in our church that leave our church or have left our church because maybe somebody in the church offended them, or that, something that somebody did, or whatever the case may be. They decided in their life, I'm going to not be part of this religion because this experience happened to me in this church. So, and everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. And you can you can have any reason or excuse or anything you want to do in your life to do whatever you want to do. I just think that there are some people who actually will leave a religion or will leave a belief system because something negative happened to them or something like that. So there are people that do that. Rex and I did not choose to use a negative 2 people in the church, 3 people that are in the church, or maybe even more, that decided to start their own, religion or whatever it is.
Yeah, completely two different subjects to me. So
Yeah.
okay, Adam. So here's a fun one, and it's from Lindsay. So we got to pay attention to it.
Oh, here we go. It better
Appreciate
not be crazy.
what she does. Quick, Adam. Top 3 places on your wish list to do meet and greets. Go.
Top 3 places for meet and greets.
Yep.
One is Australia because we have a ton of optimists in Australia. Let's see, what's another one? Florida. We want to go to Florida. And of course, Alaska has to be on there.
Because Lindsay's there.
Exactly. If I didn't say Alaska, she'd be like, oh, you're in trouble.
Yep. Top 3 places. I would love to do a meet and greet anywhere someone wants to meet and greet with us.
There you go. We're not going to force it on people.
Yeah, I met Sandy here, at a one-person meet and greet here in San Jose. I'm glad to do that. If someone wants to meet with us, I'm all for it. They want to talk about the trials or not, or just talk about life in general. I'm just all for it. I'm appreciative of all of our optimists, anyone that gives energy to the cause we're engaged in, finding justice for the victims. And people are so generous to us personally, loving and kind and supportive to us. How do you not want to meet with people like that? So wherever those people are, it doesn't matter what the location is. I'm all for it. Let's see, getting behind a little on our stars. Lee says, Gigi researched that death row and said Chad gets psych evaluation at entry and then talks to a therapist every 90 days for checkup. Okay, that's interesting info.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Lee and Gigi. I presume you mean Gigi McElvey. I call my wife Gigi also. That's a different nickname, stands for gorgeous girl. And that's, as y'all know my wife, that's an understatement too. But I've run out of superlatives about her. So Kathy, I only read part of this before I put it up, said not to be personal. So I had to put it up there, Adam.
Not to be personal. Yeah.
I figured it's talking about you.
Oh.
But why would you still be on the radio if not? Oh, Adam, would you still be on the radio if not for the trial incident, or were you heading out anyway?
A lot of things happen in my radio career. That's why I wrote my very first book about my crazy radio life. And there was some really high highs and some really low lows in life situations. And I thought, radio was my calling. I felt like I felt comfortable there. I felt like I could entertain, educate, make people laugh, make people cry. I felt like, there was a calling. It was a purpose for me to do. And I got into it in like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I got into radio. And back then, everybody had to listen to the radio. If you wanted to hear your favorite song, you stood by the radio with a cassette tape and ready to hit play or record your favorite song. So DJs at that point were like, everybody, wanted to be a DJ at that point. So I loved being a radio DJ. It was an amazing experience. But as time has gone through and technology, nobody really listens to radio anymore because you don't have to sit around and wait for a song. You just get on your phone and listen to whatever song you want. As far as platforms go or talk shows, people all have now everybody are streaming podcasts. Look at you. You guys are on podcasts. You're not at home listening to the radio. So eventually I was leaving radio to do something different. When this thing first happened, I was still doing a morning show in Wichita, Kansas. And I didn't say a word to anybody about what was going on in my life. And then I went to St. George, Utah, and I got a radio job there. And I didn't say a word about who I was or what was happening. And then like within 6 to 8 months, people were coming in and going, I think I know who you are. And I'm like, okay. Of course, I didn't tell anybody. Then I had to tell my co-host. I told my boss and all that stuff. So it didn't. Lori's case and Alex's case didn't take me out of radio. I was already on the way out of radio at some point going down that road.
I think they're referring to the fact that you got fired 30 minutes after Lori's guilty sentence came in.
Mm,
That,
yeah, then there's that. And that's just a coincidence though, Rex.
yeah, I know. Just like all the murders are all the deaths are coincidences.
Yeah.
Laurel Annie, thank you very much for the $2 stick in there. She said, I think people speculate / seek answers to the unthinkable. I agree. And I think this case is the epitome of the unthinkable. And so we're all speculating, or at least Adam and I are speculating all around the unthinkable, to include the unthinkable of what happened to Tylee, JJ, and the many other victims in this case. So, yeah, and Adam and I have said before, speculating or talking it through, processing it is a way that we heal. So thank you for that. Speaking of wild speculations, Cat Blue says, I wonder how much Melanie Gibb knew about the children's deaths before she tried to redeem her reputation. Great speculation, Cat Blue. I think all of us could speculate on that. You know, we all have opinions or questions about how much she knew. Did they participate? Did they really just happen to be there? How all that went down? We would love to know the details of how it went down, and if they weren't a part of it, how they missed being a part of it, being right there in the apartment. So,
yeah.
And
I feel like the whole group that was with Chad and Lori, and Alex, the whole group, I don't know how many are in that group, but I feel like they were all in on Chad's list of dark spirits, that they needed to be killed, that they were turning into zombies. I think they were all in on it. And then when it finally went down and they got in trouble, everybody starts scattering. Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know they're going to do this. I didn't know they're, and so now they're all, gone from all that. So, and trying to save themselves. That's my opinion.
I'm with you on that. And I'd say this till now, just because I love to bring up Leah Roth, hi from Israel, because hearing from Leah just is a wake-up call for me in remembering what terrible things are going on there. Hi from Israel, sending lots of love and gratitude for your honesty, humor, and empathy. The optimists have truly helped me since October 7th. Love you all. So that's for all of us. And thank you. We had one person rather violently object to us supporting Leah or Israel. You're in the wrong place to wage that battle against us. First of all, we don't want to wage that battle, so we just aren't going to entertain it. But our love and concern goes out to all humans involved. But we love hearing from Leah, and just pray for the safety and deliverance of Israel. So that's where we are on that. But thanks for keeping in touch with us, and it's good to know you're doing well. And I have tried to imagine this many times in my life, what it would be like to live in an environment where war could break out in your hometown anytime. There could be missiles coming in. You're constantly having air raid drills, etc. That's just a different way to live, and our hearts go out to you on that, Leah.
Yeah, it's a tough way to live.
Adam, does your mom talk to Melanie? That's from Share Bear. Didn't put it up on the screen, but shout out to Share Bear. Thank you.
Yeah. I think my mom does talk to Melanie.
Mm-hmm. And going along with kind of the thought we're talking about, respectful differences are healthy. Couldn't agree more. And we welcome differences, but when people start talking rudely about us supporting Israel, that's just the kind of stuff that we don't want to deal with on this channel. But we love respectful differences. Adam, what are your thoughts on Julie Rowe? Do you think she'll ever get charged? Neither of us had met Julie, right?
No, I've never met her. I just remember the first time Lori mentioned Julie Rowe to me. She was like, I think Julie Rowe was the gateway for Lori for all this stuff because she listened to a podcast or read a book or something. And she's like, I think that Julie Rowe and I were sisters before we came to Earth, and she needs my support. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I need to call her or talk to her. So I think that Lori tried to contact Julie Rowe, and then Julie Rowe, I think, was rude to her or something. I don't know. This is what I think I remember this was going down, but I don't know what Julie Rowe did. I mean, besides being a little bit crazy, in my opinion, that's I think Lori, wanting to be like her is odd. But I don't know if Julie Rowe was involved in that group. Maybe does she know about dark spirits and all that stuff? Was Julie Rowe part of all that? I have no idea how much Julie Rowe played in any of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what she could get charged with. I don't know if she did anything or participated in anything. I haven't heard any evidence about that other than, like Adam said, she's not.
Well, I think Julie Rowe had sex with Chad, and then when Chad was with Lori, I think she was jealous of Lori. I think there was something there with that. So I don't know how that dynamic went down, but that's I think the gist of the middle of that.
Yeah, and we only think that because she said that on Nancy Grace's show. That's why.
Yeah. Julie Rose said that Chad had sex with her, so that's not a rumor. That's what she said.
Yeah,
and then I know that Lori. I think Julie Rowe was probably jealous that Chad was after Lori instead of her.
Very possible. Very possible. Yeah. So those are our thoughts but we don't know her, haven't met her.
No.
She's influenced family members, and just hearing about her secondhand, I haven't wanted to find out anything more. Here's a funny question from Hedgehog. How many subscribers will it take for your podcast to eclipse the station that yeeted you after Lori's sentencing? How many listeners were there for the Planet, Adam?
Oh, I think there were probably 35,000 listeners.
So
in St. George. Yeah. So we're going to get 35,000 subscribers. So we can just say, all right, radio station, here you go. Enjoy this.
Yeah. Well, ours are from all over the world, and we will take who we have over any number, anywhere, anytime. So
get busy, Hedgehog. You got a lot of recruiting to do.
Yeah, a little recruiting for us, but only people like you and the other optimists.
That's exactly.
We don't want a lot of numbers. We want a lot of people like you and the other optimists. Are you guys going to Arizona for Lori's trial? Asked Mary B. Adam's already there.
I've been waiting here for 9 months for this to go down, and nothing's happened yet. So I may pack my bags and leave if this thing doesn't go down.
Yeah, and I'll be there quite often, I'm sure. If my daughters want to go, I want to go with them. I don't know if they'll let me, but I'm down in Adam's neck of the woods every excuse I get to see Adam, my grandkids, my kids. It's just a great place in my life to be. So if they want to go see Lori's trial, I'm with them. I don't like the trials. I don't, it's so hard emotionally, but I like sharing the experience with other people. Obviously, I've been sharing it with y'all for the last year, but that's tough. Tough. Anastasia says we need to gather at least 144,000 subscribers.
Have to
like Hidden True Crime. I'm not necessarily looking for that particular nomiker. That number of followers. I know it was a fun joke with Lauren Matthias when she got 144,000. I think they had a party or some way to celebrate.
And we'll make Rex our leader.
Yeah, Rex. I don't know, kind of a one-trick pony leader. Leader that
Follow
says,
your conscience.
I'll be your leader if you'll only follow your conscience and not follow me. That does not bode well for me being the leader.
Leader of the 144,000.
Yeah.
Leave that for the professionals.
I don't think you need a couple of megalomaniacs as the leaders of that. I think Jesus will do well leading it.
I think he's got that. I think he's got it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking so. We talked about this. Let's address it again because we just like the heck out of these two people, Matt and Heather Daybell. Adam and Rex, How about seeing, Beth Kelly asks, how about seeing if Heather Daybell will join you? Watching on a bus leaving New York City day trip for home to Reading, Pennsylvania. So Beth's listening to us while on her bus back to Reading.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good experience. Yes, we would love to have Heather on and Matt. We enjoyed meeting both of them at the memorial. I think that would be a great idea. We got lots of questions for them, and I'm sure they have lots of questions for us. And I think there's definitely a dynamic between Heather talking to her family, saying that Chad was crazy and he needs help, and me telling my family Lori is crazy and needs help. Both of us are screaming this. And so, yeah, they're definitely, I think that would be a good podcast.
Yep, that'd be good. So we can do it. We haven't reached out to them or anything. We just had a great experience with them, but we don't know what the next step is. So if all else fails, maybe we'll just contact them and ask them what they think. Because they are very supportive about getting together and meeting together or whatever. We didn't talk about the podcast, but certainly an option. Brenda Peacock, $4.99 super sticker donation. Thank you, Brenda.
Yes, Brenda.
Nice. A nice note here from RB. Both of you are very brave, and I love how you keep it real. It's a lot to be related to Lori and Adam. It is. It's tough being related to Adam. No, I don't.
Why is it so hard to be related to me? What did I do?
I don't think she meant it like that. I think she meant Alex.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot to be related to Lori and Alex, pretty sure.
Is it hard to be related to me?
Are you kidding? When you have two serial killer siblings, who notices being related to you? That can't be hard at all.
Oh my gosh. It's terrible, Rex. You're a terrible human being.
Well, that's how we deal with it. Just keep the dark humor going.
Yeah, roll with it.
I can answer this one because I had an exchange with Justin here. Lee asks, will y'all interview with Justin Lum? He's going to stream Lori's July 1st hearing. We actually asked Justin Lum if we could interview him for a program we're doing for Patreon, because we want to talk about the early days when Alex had killed Charles and how scared everyone was, because the police weren't paying attention. There is no spotlight on Alex, Lori, and everything that was going on there. Brandon had been shot at. People were living in fear until finally the media, including Justin Lum in the Arizona area, key figure there, the media got the story and started putting a spotlight on these people. And we think that slowed them down and probably saved lives. We wanted to interview Justin about that. We asked him, he said, yeah, send a request, send me an email, because I have to send it up through my boss. And they came back and said, no, any interviews he does have to be released through a Fox affiliate. And of course, a podcast, we aren't a Fox affiliate. So he said we couldn't interview him, but he'll be glad to interview us about the book or something. So we'll work that out with Justin, but we would like to tell that story.
Yeah.
Anything to add on that, Adam?
No, I think that'd be great. I like Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, we appreciate his work with this all along. And of course, we love Nate too. they both become the face of the media for us. The media, we love the media for carrying this. All media, STS, Hidden True Crime, Pretty Lies and Alibis are all media. We love that. KTTV, anyone who carries it, we appreciate it. Court TV and etc. Okay, Dr. Vonda K, longtime friend of us and the podcast, the community, says, crazy fact about me, I used to be a radio DJ for 3 years. Put myself through college doing it. Did you know that, Adam?
Did not know that. That's pretty awesome. I love that. Wondering what kind of DJ you were. Did you do talk, or did you play records and talk over the records, or did you do a personality show? Did you talk politics? Did you do weather? Give us the lowdown on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it could pay for your college, because radio was not a high-paying job.
That's a good point right there.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. Well, Adam, we've been going a little over an hour here. I need to go get some strawberry pie because I'm celebrating Father's Day tomorrow without any of my children or grandchildren here locally. So I'm going to drown my sorrows in some Marie Callender's fresh strawberry pie.
Nice. Well, since you're going to be working, I'm going on a son dad date tomorrow.
Good. I love
dinner or lunch and a movie, which I'm super excited about. So I get to see Zach. Anytime I get a chance to see him, I just love it. I love spending time with him. So that's going to be a great Father's Day gift for me.
All right. And Melanie had to drop. Melanie's been moderating for us. Missy's on, but her devices aren't connected. So she's probably on her phone helping us out. We're grateful for our moderators.
Thank you, guys.
And of course, everything that Kimberly and Lindsay, everything they do for us. Other people are helping us behind the scenes. We're going to have our catalog up soon, so people can find podcasts that will help them, people that will help them. A lot more of that to come. So stay tuned with us. Please stay on this journey with us. We love you. We love all the support we get and all the positive energy in this community. Adam, you get the closing comment.
Two things. One of our listener or one of our optimists got our book last night, read the whole thing read the whole book in one night. So had a lot of good things to say about the book. And if you have read our book and you haven't wrote a review on Amazon, you can do that for us. That would be great. We're talking about adding some more chapters to our book. Now that we've experienced trials, maybe even after Lori's trial, in Brandon's trial, and Chad or Charles and Brandon's trial, maybe even after that too, we'll have more to say that we can add to the book and then re-release the book. So those are all things that are coming up. And if you want the Patreon to do that, there's a link in the comments if you want to become part of the Patreon group of optimists. So those are all options that are open.
And we need to talk about this book too that just came out. I'm expecting my copy being home for me when I get there. I've already ordered it. Money, Power, and Sex, the Lori Daybell trial, from our friend Tom Evans, also known as Juror Number 18. That is now available from Amazon. So you should be able to get it in English just the way it's supposed to happen.
Let's hope that happens for him.
Yep. And we wish the best for Tom. We'll have him on to talk about it too. See what kind of response he gets. All right. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.